Now, David Aaronovitch has written a book about conspiracy theories. He's more of a denier than a believer, I think it would be fair to say. But it always makes good telly. Just cop a whack at this.
The problem is that conspiracy theories like this are believed in.
Hey, listen, I'm here to warn people. You keep telling me to shut up. This isn't a game. Okay, our government in the U.S. is building FEMA camps. We have an NDAA where they disappear people now. You have this arrest for public safety, life in prison.
You are the worst person I've ever interviewed.
No, it's basically off with their heads, disappear
David,
them,
thank you
take
for
them away.
being with us.
Infowars.com.
Half past 11. You're watching the Sunday Politics. We have an idiot on the program today. Coming up in just 20 minutes.
You will not stop the Republic. Humanity is awakening.
It's like that every morning when I have breakfast with Joe Co, actually, you know. I wear earplugs most of the time. Anyway, it made some pretty good television. YouTube seemed to like it, so did the BBC online service. Here are David's top 5 conspiracy theories. Protocols of the Elders of Zion, that's a famous one. The assassination of JFK, of course, and the death of Princess Diana as well. 9/11, lots of theories about that. And the secret bloodline of Christ. There we go. Joining us now from Bristol, Tony Gosling. He's a journalist who investigates conspiracy theories. David Aaronovitch, of course, is still here. What attracts people to conspiracy theories, David?
I think because they make order of a disordered world. They suggest that the world isn't as chaotic and contingent as it actually is, that somebody's planning it all, somebody's kind of doing it all, somebody's behind it all. I mean, take the case of the disappeared Air Malaysia plane. That's really scary. But if you could bring yourself to believe that somebody had planned to do it, and there are some conspiracy theorists out there who believe it, then in that case, actually, you take some of the scaredness away.
Okay. Tony Gosling, what do you regard as the current most important thing you think that some would regard as a conspiracy theory?
Well, that's an easy one, Andrew. What about the Malaysian airliner?
Okay.
I mean, I think if you were to talk to some of the families of the relatives of people on it, a lot of them are now starting to say we've not been told the truth.
Sure. What's your theory about it then?
Well, I think there are some facts we know. One thing is that there's been news management going on in a big way on this story. I mean, we've had 2 examples of that, very clear. First of all, when Rolls-Royce announced that the plane, it looked like had been travelling on for 5 hours, there was an avalanche of stories saying no, 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 by people who couldn't possibly have known. They even got Rolls-Royce themselves to retract that story.
Indeed.
And then there's also the Maldives sightings, another avalanche of stories by people who can't possibly have known if the people in the Maldives have seen the aircraft or not.
Okay, I understand all that, and there's been people have rushed too quickly to report. What I'm trying to get, do you have a theory as to what happened to that plane?
Really, impossible to tell. All I can tell you, I mean, the thing is, a cover-up certainly is going on of some sort. And planes do not fly for 5 hours and then crash into the sea. Ask any pilot. If it's in trouble, it will ditch in some way or land on the ground somewhere.
All right.
And it's the wife of Philip Wood, the guy from IBM. She has been saying, it feels like my government is lying to me. So, I mean, there are all sorts of problems with this. This is an ongoing one. That's right now. But there are others. The Bilderberg, the banking conspiracy, the massive fraud going on in the city.
Hold on, let me get David Aaronovitch to reply. I guess because of all the uncertainty and the plane itself hasn't been located, it is an ideal subject for conspiracy theories.
Oh, no, it absolutely is, and what Tony has outlined is all the kind of classic build-up of the notion of what is odd or strange or anomalous about it, quite apart from the disappearance itself, which and then in comes somebody's wife, you know, what her qualifications are apart from her association with somebody with a plane, we don't know, to say something about it, and there will be websites about it and they will build upon this and so on. And then gradually a theory or a series of theories will emerge from it. And it emerges from, and it comes from the same impulse that we all feel, which is it's absolutely appalling not knowing.
Yes, indeed. Tony Gosling, can you give an example of a conspiracy theory which, in the fullness of time, proved to be true beyond doubt?
Well, I think the JFK assassination, which David, I know, deals with in his book. I mean, I haven't had a chance to see his book, but there is a similar kind of book, which David may know, called Secrets and Lies by David Southwell, that deals very well with it. Lyndon Johnson was clearly meeting with the boss of the FBI in the days running up to the assassination. There's a chap called James Files who's confessed to being on the grassy knoll. He was working for the Chicago Mafia. The thing is, with JFK, what had happened is he had managed to come to power with the help of the Chicago Mafia, and then he got his brother to, after he was elected, start clamping down on the mafia in Chicago.
Sure.
There's a very clear motive there,
I
and also
understand
many witnesses.
The motive. It doesn't, though, David Aaronovitch, prove the conspiracy theory.
No, I mean, one of the things about theories like this is that they're completely hydra-headed. So as soon as you think you've dealt with one accusation or one kind of set of facts within it, somebody will raise another. So at least 2 or 3 more that Tony's mentioned that I've not heard before, and I thought I knew the literature pretty well, actually. In fact, there's not a great deal of mystery about the murder of JFK, and there's not really a great deal of mystery about who killed him and so on. But the psychic impact of the death of a president in that way really gave rise to the need for it to be something other than this single disoriented guy, Lee Harvey Oswald. And the industry that's grown up about it, consequently, is absolutely massive. And Tony is completely sincere in believing these things. He believes that the world is so ordered.
Have you any example of a conspiracy theory which was ridiculed at the time but turned out to either be true or, hey, there seems to be something in this?
Oh, well, I mean, there are all kinds of cover-ups and so on, which people say that people do that turn out to be true. I think probably the most heinous is it was thought that the Conservative government of 1956 had made a secret agreement with the Israeli government to launch the attack, which led to us intervening in Suez.
And that was true.
And that was true, and Sir Selwyn Lloyd denied it in terms in the House of Commons.
Right. Mr. Gosling, as you go around, I know you're very interested in this sort of stuff. Do you meet people who think that the world is run by lizards?
No, actually, I think this is a bit of a kind of
red herring.
use by David. What he's done is he's mixed in some real conspiracy, I believe a real conspiracy, in with some completely bogus stuff like the moon landings. I mean, we know Hillsborough was a conspiracy, a cover-up. We've heard just the other day that statements have been altered by the police, basically to protect their friends. And that is a conspiracy, and I would hope that some of those people who did that, perverting the course of justice, will go to jail in the fullness of time. I mean, we've got Bilderberg, the Bilderberg conferences. We've just heard that the next one is going to be on in Denmark in the end of May. I hope the BBC will cover it. This is the NATO's political lobbying arm that is not being properly looked at by our press in this country, and they are extremely powerful, set up by a former SS officer.
Okay, Tony Gosling, we've run out of time there, but I hope we do cover the next Bilderberg in Denmark this time. Last time it was in Watford, I think.
Yes,
and
it was.
Denmark
was much more fun to go to.
And that was great for our ratings.
Yeah. I mean, in the land of Borgen, it's much better.
Exactly. They'll have a coalition about it.